ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. So we read one shloka from this Karma Yoga, 3rd chapter. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa निराशी निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वर. When we read the following 4-5 shlokas, it actually is based on this shloka. Not from the meaning point of view, but the importance point of view. Because it is about this shloka. Sri Krishna says, and here the scriptural understanding or the understanding of the scriptures, there is always difference. When a scholar wants to read it, but when a spiritual seeker wants to read it, he derives a different meaning. There is a word meaning. There is a hidden secret meaning. Word is the same, but the sadhaka understands how and why Krishna is telling this. And when Krishna says here, I or me or mine, is not Krishna who is son of Devaki. He identifies himself with the supreme truth and then says that I. Here is the difference. When you will find that people of other religions or those who are scholars but are not seekers, they always bring out this meaning, telling that why it is so, renounce everything and come and fall at my feet. What kind of ego is this? It is not Krishna says you to do that. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Come and take shelter in me. Is not the Dwarkadish. It is not the son of Devaki. He identifies himself with God, Brahman. You take shelter means you realize that. You understand that. It is not the person. It's not the person who speaks. We cannot fathom this meaning because we do not have any other identification than our being the body. If I say, look at the statements, how I am identifying myself with me only, but different aspects of me. I am not that tall. I am identifying myself with the body. I understand Gita little. That is not the body who understands. That is the mind who understands. How I can identify myself with these two things separately? In the same way, for example, let me give examples which are understandable by us. Till today, a girl says about herself, I am daughter of so and so. It's about the body. I study in this college. It's about body and mind. Oh, I stood first. That is more about the mind than the body. Then she gets married and says, I am daughter-in-law of this house. That new identification was not there few days before. Because she got married or wanted to get married, that's why her new identification is created, which was absent. In the same way, when you start crossing the hurdles and start realizing the truth, your identification will change. See from this point of view, the life of great people. When you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, you will find this. Sri Ramakrishna is not identifying himself always with his body. That's why you will find, to crush his own ego, to obliterate his own ego, he used to say, here, means to me, to he. So, Krishna says, Sarvani karmani mai sanyasya. Renounce, give up, or rather offer all your karma. Means what? Fruits of the karma, result of the karma. There is very simple way of interpretation. There is not question of offering the fruits when the very work is done for him. Before the work starts, you know it is for him. I have no ownership of the result. So the offering of the result in that way doesn't arise. But how you will sannyasya, how you will renounce, how you will give up, how you will give away, how you will consider that my actions are meant for God. One thing is very certain, it is not for me, it's for him or her. When a soldier fights in the battle, this winning and losing is not his. So the worker of God, in that way, is free from this feeling of success and failure. Bhagavad Gita says Sri Krishna in the 2nd chapter, one who is free from success and failure. How to be free? I do something, either I am successful or I am failure. If I am successful, I am happy. If I am failed, I am unhappy. How to be free from that? The very ownership is given away. Success or failure goes to the boss, to God. I am his worker. I am told to do like this. And it takes a lot of courage. It's not easy to just say. Look at every saint, look at every teachings of the saints. It's not easy. If you are on the path of God, if you are on the path of truth, if you are on the path of justice, if you are on the path of positive, take for granted your struggle will be very high. Those who are not have no limitations, have no restrictions, have no moral boundary, are not governed by any moral principle. You know, those who are in the police or army or whatever, every bullet they have to give account. But for those who are dacoits or illegal people, they just fire. They don't need to give account to anyone. So idea is, Sarvani karmani mai sanyasya. Give away that it is his. Many times through our own life we understand. When you worry, that means you have not surrendered to God. You have no faith, or that much faith rather. There is a song we sing in our temple called Rama Sumira, yehi tero kaaj hai. What you can do is to remember God, because you have offered everything to Him. Let Him work for you. Success and failure is not yours. Suffering will come, take in His name. Success will come, take His name. Success should not go to your head, and failure should not come down to your heart and make you depressed. And how you do that? Adhyatma Chetasa. This is a key word. Chetasa, the mind. By spiritualizing your mind. This is a huge topic in itself. How to spiritualize your mind. All your devotional songs, all the hymns, scriptures, eventually are telling you this only, how to spiritualize your mind. Sister Nivedita writes, after the advent of Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda, there is nothing left which is secular. Everything is spiritual. Smallest of your action could be spiritual if your mind is spiritual. The word secular, now we say word secular is, that is without religion, without the trace of religion is secular. No, the original definition of secular was that which is not belong to the church is secular. That which doesn't belong to temple, that doesn't belong to a religious institution, something, these are all secular activities. Nothing is secular. Everything is spiritual. So Adhyatma Chetasa, smallest of your actions or the biggest of your actions somehow has to be intertwined with spirituality. If it is not there, those actions becomes secular. Those actions become without sense of spirituality. And how to make it? Connected with God, with His name, connected with God by keeping the actions I am doing for Him. Swami Vivekananda talked about Karma Yoga. People say it is a Hindu concept, Karma Yoga. No. It is one of the faculties of your mind. We are bound to do active, bound to be active. We are bound to do actions. Actions to be converted into worship is Karma Yoga. There was a great Catholic Christian saint. I have not visited the place, sometimes if possible. It's called Saint Teresa of Avila. She joined the nunnery at very young age, and within 10 to 12 years of her nun's life, she passed away. Hardly at the age of 27, 28, like that. But she was given the sainthood because of her life. I have heard the stories. We can read about her. She used to serve in the nunnery, all the service activities of the nunnery. She will get up in the morning. She will make the bed clean. Then there is a small picture of Jesus. She will put it on the pillow and say, "You take rest. I will work on your behalf. So whenever she is doing any work, the mind is, I am working for him. If this is not Karma Yoga, what is Karma Yoga? Karma Yoga is this. Not always you need to do religious rituals. No. Whatever you do, of course, negative you don't do. You can't kill a person, you can't say lies and do all kind of negatives and tell it for the sake of God. No, that's the wrong thing. That's why we say morality is the basis of spirituality. You can't become spiritual if you are not moral. How you can? How your mind and heart you can offer to God if it is not pure enough to offer? So negativity is not part of our life anyway. All that is positive can be offered to God. So he says how to do it? Nirashi, without expectation. What is expectation? Do whatever you need to do, you do, but don't expect. Not expecting only money, not expecting praise, not expecting acceptation, not expecting clappings from people. You keep on doing it is good to do good. Sometimes the principles are very, very difficult to understand, of course, to practice. We all repeat the name of God in one way or other. What is the purpose? Highest purpose is one thing, but what is the immediate purpose of your repeating the name of God? Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, he writes in his Gita commentary, the word comes Sangarahitam, Sangam Tyaktva. By renouncing the attachment, by renouncing attachment is what? I am doing japa, I am doing meditation, I am doing service. What I want from God? People have a long list of things. I want money, I want a job, I want this, I want that. Nothing bad about it. But it is the lower types of devotion that we have discussed earlier. 4 types of devotees. Shankaracharya writes, Ishvaropi me tushyatu iti sangarahitam. Taking the name of God so that God become pleased on me, not even that I want. There is a very beautiful song I sing sometimes, written by Rabindranath Tagore. In which sense he has written, I do not know. But that particular line we can take from this, from this standpoint what we are discussing. Shishu Jamon Make নামের নেশায় ডাকে, বলতে পারে এই সুখেতেই মায়ের নাম সে বলে। A child calls mother, 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 mother. What the child wants from mother? The child takes the name of mother just because it is able to take the name of mother. That's all. And this concept if you have, your japa and meditation will take altogether a new height. I am repeating your name, but I do not want anything from that. I just want to repeat your name. I do not want anything. Oh, you bless me so that I get this, I get. I don't need anything. I take the name of God to get worldly things. It doesn't mean anything. You take something, hold on to something to go higher, above what you are holding. You can't hold something to take something very low. Other day, somebody was asking, why do we take the name of God? Very interesting this subject is. I told, do you remember this sloka about Holy Mother? Ramakrishna Gata Prana. Then Tan Nama Shravana Priyam. She is fond of hearing the name of Sri Ramakrishna. If she is happy to hear the name from her, I take the name of Sri Ramakrishna, make her happy. I don't need anything by repeating the name of God. The more you progress, then only you understand the meaning of Nishkama, that I do not want anything. I do it for your happiness, for whose name I am repeating, his happiness. I don't want anything out of it. So Krishna says, Adhyatma Chetasa, with the help of spiritualizing your mind, Nirashi, without expectation, Nirmamo, without ownership, Yudhyasya, Yudhyasva means live your life. Yudhya doesn't mean always fight. We are fighting in our life always. To live your life without attachment and without expectations, spiritualizing your mind, give away all the action and its fruits to me. In a way, this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Yudhyasva Vigata Jvara. Vigata Jvara means without getting temperature, without getting fever, means without struggle, without stress, without any difficulty. Now this is the teaching. Very simple teaching. We understood few times, that's why I repeat. Devoid of fever of the soul means devoid of struggle, devoid of unnecessarily proving. Other day I was talking to someone. It's good to ask question, but question should be genuine, not for the sake of asking question. One of our great Swami used to say, to doubt everything is not the sign of intellectuality. Intellectuality is to understand the minute, deep meaning of the words. Devoid of fever of the soul, engage in battle, engage in your life by dedicating all actions to me with your mind intent on the self and becoming free from expectations and egoism. Offering everything to Lord. Before performing itself, it should be offered that it is meant for Him. Without expectation and without ownership. Without unnecessary friction in mind. Living your life for the sake of God. Now this is the teaching. Now he says, those who can understand this and do it will make their life blessed. Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto anasuyanto mucchante tepi karmabhi. Those who understand this and practice. Sometimes people say, oh, so what? You read Bhagavad Gita, simply intellectual understanding is not helpful. You must realize something. I said, now find the difference between a person who has not understood Bhagavad Gita at all and you have intellectually understood, for whom it is easy to follow, one who has understood. So intellectual understanding is half the battle won. Why do you think we read Bhagavad Gita? By reading Bhagavad Gita, you are not going to achieve anything. That could be true. But you read and understand and get convinced that yes, this is what I need to do in my life. Then it's a matter of doing. So you see, those who understand this concept and practice. How practice? Shraddhavanto. Have full faith in that. Every time doubt doesn't go. No, I read, but I don't know whether it is true or not. No. Shraddha. Anasuyanto. This Anasuyanto, Sri Krishna uses this word twice in Bhagavad Gita. Once he addresses Arjuna as Anasuya. You know some lady's name is Anasuya. What is Anasuya? Asuya. Asuya is to find fault. Dosha darshanam. Anasuya means who doesn't find fault with others. In the 6th chapter, I think, Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, this is the secret of Dhyana Yoga. I will tell you. Why I will tell you is because you don't find fault with me. Krishna and Arjuna are both of the same age. Both are friends in a way. Arjuna understands that Krishna is Krishna, but sometimes same batch. So you don't suddenly consider him so great. Yeah, better than me, but no need to be so. In 15th chapter, there is a beautiful sloka. When Krishna showed that universal form, Vishwarupa Darshana, and Arjuna was in awe, standing. And Arjuna says some thoughts in form of some sloka. In that there is one sloka, so much love is there. Arjuna's love for Krishna, probably in the whole Bhagavad Gita, that love is manifested only in that sloka. Rest, as a guru or as a teacher, he respects. There he says, Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam. Sakhaiti matva, thinking that you are my friend. Prasabham yaduktam. Whatever came to my mouth, I told. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Sakheti. I told you, hey Krishna, come here. Hey Yadava, come here. Hey Sakha, oh my friend, come. Ajanata, unknowingly, I didn't know that you are this. I thought you are my friend. Mahimanam Tvayedam. In your such glory, I didn't know. Maya Pramadat. Out of ignorance. Next word is very powerful. Maya Pramadat. Out of ignorance, unknowingly, I considered you as my friend and called you by any name. Pranayena vapi. Or because out of love. This is Arjuna's love for Krishna. He says, out of ignorance, I didn't know you are so great. I don't know you are God who is staying with me, talking to me. Pranayena vapi. And love makes you, not the normal sense people use, love makes you blind. No, not from that point of view. Love reduces your glory. Somebody is so great. But if you love him, that glory will not come into picture. If somebody's husband is army chief, wife will not do salute every time to her. Correct? No. Others will do. Where there is love, that glory, or maybe you are army officer outside. Here, wait for my chapati. Love makes your that grandeur, Aishwarya comes down. So, he says, Shraddhavanto, with faith, Anasuyanto, without finding fault. Krishna says this. I don't think it is what he says, I don't understand. No. That's why we always say this. There is a standpoint standing where you should read scriptures. If you don't understand, don't find fault with the scriptures. But you say, sorry, at this point of time I am not able to understand, and that's why I am not able to appreciate. Let me take some time. No, what Gita says is wrong. No, that is not the standpoint of a person who wants to evolve, person who wants to progress. So he says, this matam, this teaching, nityam anutishtanti, one who always practices, shraddhavanto, faithful, with respect, with Shraddha doesn't have a equal translation in English. Shraddha, you can have a faith, Shraddha can be love, Shraddha is little fear. Shraddha is you are in awe with that person. Muchyante tepi karmabhi. He also will become free from all the bondage of karma. We are bound to do karma, and karma has its own bondage. Karma has its own poison. Those who are doing karma in one way or other, you are suffering because of your own karma, good or bad. But you will be free from that, provided you practice this. What you practice? Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigadachara. This is the teaching. Those who practice with faith, with shraddha, without finding fault, without criticizing, they will be free from bondage of action, bondage of karma. But those who are not, yetu etad abhyasuyanto, those who keep on finding fault with the scriptures. There are some aspects about the study of scriptures. Anything positive is good. Little lower or little higher. Study of Bhagavad Gita is done in many ways. How many shlokas are there? 700. One shloka is spoken by Dhritarashtra, this many by Sanjaya, this many by Krishna, this many by Arjuna. This is one study. We have one book called Gita Vyakarana, grammar in Bhagavad Gita. If this word is there, idam is which is the case, first, second, third. This is a way of study, but this is grammarian's way of study. That also is helpful. Some people memorize Bhagavad Gita. I remember, I have not memorized. We had one Swami who memorized the whole Bhagavad Gita with us, and many are there who memorized. Shloka, more or less, you tell the shloka, we can complete the shloka because we have read a few times. Our late President Swamiji, Ranganathanandaji, he had a standing prize for the brahmacharis of the training center in Belur Math. Whoever will read Bhagavad Gita, I will gift complete works of Swami Vivekananda to him, like that. So, that is one way. Understanding. I remember in this Gita Jayanti program, the same topic I was talking. It is good to do chanting. People sit down for 3 hours and chant the whole Bhagavad Gita. Very, very good. But there is higher than that. To chant with understanding. Oh, that much Sanskrit I don't know. Maybe we should do that. Chanting Sanskrit shloka without understanding is good, or chanting the meaning of Bhagavad Gita in English and we all read together. Those men who ever follow this teaching of mine with faith and without cavil, they also become freed from actions. At least I understand what Krishna says. Chanting is good. Chanting with understanding is better. After understanding what? After understanding, practice comes. If I don't practice but just understand, so we must go from one step to another step. That doesn't mean we renounce the lower steps. Chanting will go on. People mistake this. I came to primary school. Do you think primary school children are supposed to forget what they learn in kindergarten? No. When you come to secondary school, are you supposed to forget all that is you learn in primary school? No. So chanting continues. Understanding the meaning also continues, but attention is given on the practice of what is taught in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says, those who practice with faith, they will be freed from action, because this is the formula. Shloka number, chapter 3, shloka number 30. This is the essence. If you practice, you will be free from karma. If you don't, no curse. There are many things which are not there in Hinduism. Hinduism doesn't have a concept of sin. You say, why? Papa, sin is there? No. Our sins in Hinduism is mistakes, blunders maybe. But it is not that sin which makes you to stay in hell permanently. No. There is nothing called that sin in Hinduism. All the asuras, all the rakshasas. You know, Sanskrit is a beautiful language. Why you call them asura? Asura means what? Asura means demons, rakshasas. What is the meaning of asura? Asushu ramate iti asura. Asu means senses. Those who are busy with sense and sense objects are all asuras. In a way, we are all asuras, unless our mind becomes spiritual. So asuras were not negative people. They were sometimes scholars, great sadhakas and tapasya. Ravana, Brahmin's son, great scholar, great devotee of Shiva, but still negative. Asura. Whereas Sri Ramakrishna used to give examples. Those who are only scholar of the scriptures but do not want to practice are like vultures who fly very high, but their eyes are all on the rotten things of the world. It is good that you understand little and take your mind higher. Take your mind higher in terms of practice. That's why Krishna uses the word sannyasya. You need to renounce. We have a book, if you have not read, it's a very, very famous book, Jonathan Livingstone Seagull. You must have, we have for sale in a few days, it will come. Richard Bach is a writer. That seagull is a bird. Seagulls don't fly very high, are on the surface of the water and then swim. So the Jonathan Livingstone is the name of a seagull. It's a story. He found birds are flying very high. So he told to his parents, I want to fly. The parent says, we don't fly high. We don't fly high. We are seagulls. We don't need to fly very high. Compare with a monk's life. When a boy wants to join the order, oh, are we not practicing religion? Do you think, yes, look at your father, morning, evening, doing prayers and japa and all that? What's wrong in that? Do you think he is not a religious person? Why you need to renounce? You also get married, settle down, do puja morning, evening. I'm not telling no to you. What is there to become a monk? This argument parents give. We are seagulls. We don't fly very high. I am in this level, you also have to be in the same level. So Jonathan Livingstone told, no, I want to fly high. So Jonathan went quite high, but he was a seagull. So it became difficult for him to sustain. So after 1 or 2 days he came down. And when he came down, he was not accepted by the family of seagulls. Same thing happens to the monks. Monks are respected. Once I renounce the monk's life and go back to your status, becoming a householder or something, you don't consider even me householder. You are worse than that. You are a monk, you came down, you go out. You are not fit to be staying with us. Same thing happened to Jonathan Livingstone. He was not accepted by the society. So he thought, what to do? I don't have an option than to go high. If I have 2 options, then I have a selection, either this or this. I have only 1 option, and that's to go high. And Jonathan went higher and higher and higher. And the story says he met 2 angels, and angels took him to heaven and all that. Idea is this. There is no concept of sin as it could be in the other religions. Mistakes are there, pardonable. When the Durga, Rama, Krishna, when they killed asuras, without fail, each and every case, the description is given is the asura was freed from this asurika vritti and he was lifted up. It is not killing and throwing, no. He was taken out of this asura yoni and was sent to higher life. Ye tu etad abhyasuyanto na anutishtanti me matam. What I told in this Mai Sarvani Karmani etc. Those who do not follow, Krishna says pity for them. Sarva jnana vimudha. They are ignorant. Have mercy on them. You don't need to. You help them to understand. Viddhi nashtan achetasaha. They don't have this capacity to understand maybe. Let him understand. This is the only way to follow. Not from fanatic religious point of view. Whichever religion you want to follow, you follow. Thing is, whether you offer your food to Christ or Krishna is your choice. Principle is this. Principle is this. So, those who will follow will be freed from the action. Then he says, why some people cannot follow? Majority of us cannot follow. Why? There is a reason. Why people don't follow? Why people can't follow? Look at Duryodhana. There is a famous sloka where Duryodhana says, don't you think I understand what Krishna says? Duryodhana was a scholar. He was not a fool. He was the eldest, bravest. So he says, Janami dharmam nachame pravritti. I know what is correct, but I am not able to practice. Janami adharmam nachame nivritti. I know it is wrong to do all these things what I am doing, but I am not able to give it up. Kenapi devena ridhisthitena. Who sits in my heart and makes me to do like this, I don't know. That is one kind of surrender. So why people can't do it? Why people cannot understand? Is because of our nature, because of our prakriti, because of our not having training. Sadrisham chastate swasya prakrite jnanavanapi. Even the scholars behave according to their nature. Prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. What force you can do? A child who is not able to understand mathematics, you take a stick and say, I want you to have 99 marks out of 100. You force him, he says, I cannot. I remember one boy, very nice boy, we had here many years before. So I said, you are so good, you are so intelligent. Why they put you into special school? And the boy was so genuine. He told me one thing, I can't understand Swamiji what they teach. Perfect boy, behavior-wise perfect, everything okay, but he said, I can't understand. So I said, okay, everybody don't need to understand same mathematics and science. You will understand something which is useful to you. Now you must be a man of 25, 30, I do not know. So cannot understand. Even a scholar cannot understand. One who has read Bhagavad Gita word to word can explain to you. And go to university. Professor of Eastern philosophy, good scholar of Sanskrit. Why he doesn't renounce if he has understood the scripture? No. He has read the scripture, understood the scripture from intellectual point of view, but he is not a sadhaka. The famous story. A king wanted to study Bhagavatam. So he is a king. So he told to his ministers, find out in our kingdom who is the best Bhagavatam scholar. I want to learn Bhagavatam from him. So they found a Pandit. He started coming to the palace and teaching Bhagavatam to the king. At the end of the class, the Pandit, the scholar, will ask to the king, so king, did you understand? And king will tell him, first you understand. So the Pandit was very amused one or 2 days, 3 days. After that there was a question in his mind. I am teaching so sincerely, the whole kingdom says that I am the best scholar of Bhagavatam. I am asking this king, he is a king, fine, but he has no scholarship. I am asking him, king, have you understand? Have you understood anything? And king always tell me, you understand first. And this went on for days and days and days. Then one day he thought, he is not a fool, he is a king. There must be a meaning in his telling to me that first you understand Bhagavatam before you ask me whether I have understood or not. And he started thinking, why king is asking to his grace of God, some flash of light. Morning he got up without telling to anyone, took his one towel, little accessories, some clothes and whatever. He renounced and went away, telling his son, I am going to renounce everything. Just go to king once and tell the Pandit understood Bhagavatam today. It is something like Pandit is telling you, hey, world is unreal, renounce everything. If he is teaching, so king is telling, you understand. If you have understood that I have to renounce, why you are not renouncing? You are still living the same life. The Pandit left, renounced everything, telling his son to go and tell to the Pandit, humbly tell to the king that today morning the Pandit understood Bhagavatam first time and he renounced. So, taste of pudding is in eating. The scriptures, it is good to read scriptures, it is good to memorize scriptures, it is good to able to speak about scripture, but this doesn't mean anything if I can't practice in my life. So, the essence of scriptures is always in practice. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.